Are you a beginner looking to do a body recomposition diet, but are you not sure about how many calories you should be taking in each day, as well as what your macro split should look like in order to be successful in decreasing body fat and increasing lean muscle? In this video, I'm gonna break down what a body recomposition diet should look like if you are a beginner who is looking to really dial in your nutrition and get into the weight room and start lifting weights on a regular scheduled training program for more sustainable fat loss. So I'm gonna go over how to calculate your daily calorie intake and macros for body recomposition. And make sure you watch all the way to the end because I'm gonna give you my 5 standard tips that you should be following on your body recomposition journey in order to be successful. We're gonna dive right in, but of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you get a notification when I release a new video every single week, just like this one. My name's Michelle Roots, kinesiologist, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and fitness and fat loss motivation specialist, and mama of 2 baby boys. I created this channel to break down all of the information on the internet about fitness and fat loss in the simplest and easiest way to understand to help you become the best version of yourself. So if you find this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, and of course, leave any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to help out. Okay, let's get started on figuring out your daily calorie intake and macros for a body recomposition. But I just wanna say, I'm not gonna be going over in this video what a body recomposition is in more depth. I talk all about that already in this video right here. You can check that out after this one. I'll link that in the description below. Or right after watching this video, I created a body recomposition playlist with all the videos regarding body recomposition already on my channel. I'll link that playlist in the description below as well. You can go check that out after you're done watching this video. Okay, let's start by talking about your calorie intake. Because again, fat loss still comes down to calories in versus calories out. But when we're looking at a body recomposition, meaning we need to make sure we're eating enough to fuel our bodies, to support our training, our strength training, to build lean muscle, but we also want to eat in a little bit of a deficit to make sure that we are also burning fat. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky on a body recomposition. We've all heard of those people, maybe you're one of them, who has gone on a crazy crash diet and restricted their calories so much and lost a whole bunch of weight in a really, really steep calorie deficit, but didn't really incorporate the strength training, maybe just did cardio to burn more calories, and they lost a ton of weight. But then you also hear of that weight creeping back up and creeping back up and creeping back up because what they did was not sustainable for a long period of time, or they didn't do anything to change their body composition, meaning they didn't really increase their lean muscle, they didn't decrease body fat, they just lost weight on the scale, if that makes sense. So where it gets tricky with a body recomposition, we want to actually reverse our body compositions. We are looking at a long-term, much more sustainable fat loss plan where you are going to change the shape of your body, you're gonna get stronger, and you're gonna be able to enjoy the journey more because you're eating a little bit more food. The one thing is, and that I tell everybody, it is going to take a lot more time and patience and consistency to be successful in a body recomposition. Because one, it is not easy to build muscle. But the cool thing is, if you are watching this and you're a beginner who has either never really challenged themselves in the weightlifting department, they've only ever lifted 5-pound dumbbells or 8-pound dumbbells or just done body weight strength stuff, and you've never really followed a progressive overload plan where you're really trying to get stronger, lift heavier, and increase your lean muscle, you are at an advantage when it comes to a body recomposition because your body is going to adapt a lot faster than somebody who maybe has been lifting weights for 4 years and now they're looking to dial in their nutrition and increase lean muscle to do a body recomposition. So that's who I'm talking to in this video today. You are a beginner or you're someone who's never followed a structured plan of strength training and really focused on protein intake and calories and all of that, you're gonna get the most out of this video today. A lot of people don't wanna go through the bulking and the cutting, especially if you're a beginner. I'm gonna give you the calories for a body recomposition, meaning you're gonna try and build lean muscle and decrease body fat at the same time. So looking at calculating your calorie intake for a body recomposition, you wanna first get your maintenance calories number. So your maintenance calories are basically the amount of calories you should be eating on a daily basis to maintain the current weight that you are at. I have a video explaining all about maintenance calories, this one right here. If you wanna know more about maintenance calories, I'll link that in the description below as well. You can go watch that next. But if you just want the quick and easy way to figure out your maintenance calories, I'll also link below a simple online maintenance calories calculator I found on the internet where you just plug in your height, your weight, your activity levels, blah, 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 and it's gonna give you your maintenance calories. That's probably the easiest way to do it. But if you wanna know why we do this or how we calculate these maintenance calories, go check out that video. Once you have your maintenance calories number, for a body recomposition, you wanna start by eating 300 to 600 calories underneath your maintenance calories. So I weigh around 150 pounds and I figured out my maintenance calories are about 2,400 calories to maintain my current body weight. So if I wanted to do a body recomposition, I would start by decreasing that by 300 or 400 calories a day. So I'm gonna start by shooting for 2,000 to 2,100 calories a day. There's also options with a body recomposition, which I kind of leave more towards someone who's a bit more advanced or who's a bit more in the rhythm, maybe a few months or a few weeks into their body recomposition, is where they can start calorie cycling, meaning you are going to eat higher calories on your strength training days. So say you strength train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you would eat either at maintenance calories or a few hundred calories over maintenance on your strength training days to really fuel your body and help your body build muscle. And then you would cut on your non-lifting days, so Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, you would drop down to 300, 400, 500 calories below maintenance. And then you would cycle your calories that way throughout the week. But again, if you are just a beginner, this isn't really necessary in the beginning. If you've never really tracked your calories, if you've never really strength trained, if you never really hit your protein goal on a daily basis consistently for 6 weeks, you don't need to start playing around with calorie cycling. You totally can. But again, the key is getting started and the key is getting familiar with hitting these calorie goals, eating cleaner foods and doing all of these kind of things first. And then once you're in a good rhythm, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, hey bud. And then once you're in a good rhythm for 5 weeks or 6 weeks of hitting those numbers consistently, then you can start playing around with calorie cycle. Okay, so now that you've got your calorie number, now we're gonna take that calorie number, but we're also gonna look at our macronutrients, as these are actually the most important to lock in a body recomposition, again, because we're trying to change the composition of your body, meaning we need to build some muscle, so we can't just be eating anything. In weight loss, calories in versus calories out. You could eat McDonald's all day, every day. As long as you are in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight. That's just the science and thermodynamic, but it's not healthy and it's not sustainable long-term. So we're gonna talk about macros, proteins, carbs, and fats. Now again, I am talking to the beginner, someone who has never followed a consistent training plan before and never really tracked and focused on macros. So the best way to get started is to get 30 to 35% of your daily calorie intake from protein, 30 to 35% of your daily calorie intake from carbs, and then 30 to 40% from good fats. So when we're trying to figure out how many grams of each macronutrient you should be eating each day within your calorie goal, there's some simple math you can do. Carbohydrates and protein each have 4 calories per gram, and fat contains 9 calories per gram. So let's say you've decided your calorie goal is 2,000 calories a day. You are gonna try and hit your 2,000 calories a day, and we're gonna try and get 30 to 35% of those calories from our protein. So all we're gonna do is go 2,000 calories times 0.30 and then times 0.35. So 30 and 35%. And then that number, you're gonna divide that by 4, because again, 4 calories per gram. And that's gonna bring you to 150 to 175 grams of protein each day. So there you have your protein set. You're gonna do the exact same thing for carbs, and then you're gonna do the exact same thing for fats, but again, you're gonna divide by 9, not by 4, because fats have 9 calories per gram. So there you go. You will have your numbers, you will have your percentages and your grams of protein, carbs, and fats, as well as your calorie range to stay in on a daily basis. All you're gonna do is use a calorie tracker. I talk all about the best calorie trackers here in this video here. I'll link that in the description below. If you've never used one or you're curious, I break them all down as to the positives, the negatives, and which one I like the best. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail in this video about the calorie cycling option, meaning you're eating more calories on the days you're lifting and less calories on your rest days or the days where you are just doing walking or steady state cardio. But just a tip, if you are going to attempt that, you wanna make sure you're hitting your protein goal every single day, no matter what. And all you're gonna do on your rest days is decrease your carb intake. So there you go, guys. I hope that was fairly easy to understand, and it gives you a nice starting point to make sure that you are fueling your body properly if you are going to start a body recomposition journey. Now we're just gonna move into my 5 tips that you wanna focus on if you are starting or if you're just in the middle of a body recomposition journey, to make sure you are setting yourself up for success. So tip number one, just remember all of these calculations we've done are all just estimations. So it's up to you to make the necessary adjustments. So if you've been consistently hitting your calorie goal, consistently hitting your macros, getting your protein in every single day, and you're not necessarily seeing the results you want, I want to say consistently for 5 or 6 weeks, not Monday, I hit my protein goal and stayed in my calories. Tuesday, Wednesday, not so much. Thursday, yeah, I did. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not so much. That's not consistency. If you are consistent with these numbers and you're dialed in for at least 80% of the week, so Monday to Friday, possibly Saturday, and then maybe Sunday is your refeed day, whatever that is, and you're not necessarily seeing or feeling the results that you want, you can then adjust your calories and your macros at that point. Again, 5 or 6 weeks of consistency. I'm talking about consistency with your workouts as well, with your strength training. Tip number 2, again, comes down to consistency. Make sure you are strength training a minimum of 3 times a week for a minimum of 30 minutes per session. Of course, if you go for an hour, that's completely fine. I'm talking a minimum of 30 minutes 3 times a week, focusing on strength only. And you are following progressive overload. So I talk all about progressive overload in this video already. I'll link that in the description below if you want to make sure you're doing progressive overload properly. But the basic science is to make sure you are continuing to challenge yourself. So continuing to either increase your rep range or increase the amount of weight you are lifting. Tip number 3, keep your stress levels low and make sure you are getting sleep. So rest and recovery and stress can play a huge role in decreasing body fat as well as increasing lean muscle. A lot of recovery happens when your body is sleeping, so make sure you are getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is going to be crucial in this body recomposition journey. Now, if you are a new mom, trust me, I have 2 toddlers. I get it. It might not be an option, but do what you can in your current situation to make sleep a priority, because again, that rest and recovery is so important, as well as keeping your cortisol levels low. Cortisol is a hormone that is increased in your body when you are under a lot of stress or you're lacking sleep, and we want to keep that hormone down. Tip number 4, daily movement. So making sure you are hitting 7K to 10K steps a day. That is going to make a huge difference by getting in more daily movement. So your total daily energy expenditure. And tip number 5 is actually quite a few tips involved. Try to get a minimum of 20 grams of protein with every meal or snack. Eat lots of fibrous fruits and veggies to fill you up, and of course, the health benefits. Limit your intake of added sugars. Drink half your body weight of ounces in water every single day, and enjoy the journey. So remember, everybody wants results really fast. I talk about this in probably every single video I post on this channel, and you might be sick of hearing it already, but patience and consistency over a long period of time. Remember, if you are starting a journey or you're just in the beginning of your journey, this is for a lifetime. This is not a crash diet. A body recomposition is building lean muscle over a long period of time. The motto of my fitness studio here in Surrey, BC is train for life and be ready for anything. And I truly believe it. I have been strength training for 16 years now consistently. I've gone through weddings, honeymoons, wedding receptions, parties. I've had 2 babies. And I've trained through all of those stages of life, and I've done these healthy habits. I haven't necessarily tracked my food intake through all of these stages of life, but I truly believe that I have been able to get my body back after 2 kids is because I built these healthy habits and I didn't rush the process. I just continued to stick to it and follow the basic principles over a very long period of time. I talk all about it in my How Long Does Fat Loss Take video. Is do not expect results overnight. If you have just started, you've never strength trained before, you've never tracked your calories, do not expect to look like this, no offense, overnight. This didn't happen overnight. This has been my second son he just turned 2 in April. So he's almost 2.5. And I am now just getting leaner and stronger, maybe in the last 4 or 5 months. And that's of consistently training and consistently getting my protein in and consistently eating in healthy balance and enjoying everything in moderation, but still hitting my targets. It took about 1.5 years to build my muscle back after having him. But the kicker was that I wasn't rushing the process. I didn't care 3 months after having my baby what I looked like. All I was focusing on is hitting the gym, building my strength back, and I knew I would get to this, and it was just being patient in getting there. So that's my last tip. I think that was like 10 tips when I said I was gonna give you 5, is just trust the process. Do not expect results overnight. This is not a crash diet. What you are doing right now is for longevity, it's for health, it's to feel good, it's to be able to play with your grandkids, it's to be able to pick up your own kids, it's to be able to go throw the football with your kids and do all of the things, because you are going to be leaner, stronger, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna feel better in your own skin, you're gonna enjoy the journey because you're gonna get to eat more food, you're not gonna feel restricted, and it's more of a lifestyle than a diet. So please just remember that. I will stop rambling now. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. I hope this information was helpful. Feel free to check the link in the description to learn more about my online one-on-one fitness and nutrition coaching. And as always, I'll see you guys next week.